Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
If you woke up to news of World War III, what would be your first thoughts? Disappointed but not surprised. It'd be like, welp, there it is. Same. Once the dread and horror subside, I shit you not, my next thought would be along the lines of, what took them so long? Do I still have to go to that 9 a.m. meeting or nah? Hi, this is a corporate email communication on today's events. We at company understand the uncertainty we are facing with the news today that WWII has begun. Now more than ever, it is important for each and every associate in our organization to stay focused so we can continue to provide the service that our customers expect and will need more than ever during these trying times. At company, we must remain dedicated during the coming days, weeks, and months, and each of you play a crucial role in upholding our mission. We know how difficult this can be for many associates, so please check out the Employee Assistance Program link or connect with your direct leader should you require additional support. Read, keep going widgets, no breaky unless you jump through HR hoops. This is spot on and I hate it. When you think you're gonna die in a nuclear war and your first thought is, great, I don't have to go to work today, you're relieved you don't have to go to work, cause you thought you were gonna die in a nuclear war. What the fuck is this world? What have they done to us? What did they do to us? Exclamation mark. My life is nothing I thought it should be and everything I was worried it would become, because for 50 seconds I thought there was monsters on the world. You do, as long as your place is not under shelling, the whole routine is going on like nothing happened. Source, I woke up once in a country which started a war, sad face. I work with people and they were having Teams meetings with their counterparts in Ukraine. You could hear the concussion from artillery and the lights flicker on their end. It'll take more than some war to get you out of work, lol. I need to go buy toilet paper. The last toilet paper shortage convinced me to buy a bidet seat. After the first one, I got one for every bathroom in the house. 100% recommend. When it comes to the whole toilet paper versus bidet issue, I like to describe it this way. Imagine that you are walking barefoot in a farm and accidentally step on bovine or equine feces. Would you just take a paper towel and rub the towel on your foot? No, you would probably take a shower to get rid of the feces and acrid smell. A bidet works on the same principle. It is a shower for your butt. The only drawback of a bidet is vacation, hotel stays become miserable. The longing for that soft blast of water is underappreciated. Don't forget the noodles. Send nude, s. Bro, I live in Eastern Germany. I wouldn't wake up to news of World War III, World War III would wake me up. Edit, not a German. Removed. Poland, Germany, what are you doing here? Germany, sorry, habit. Have a nice day. Do plastic bottle caps count? Quote. Dust off the old iPod and fill it up with wasteland wandering music. Talk up on rad away. I don't want to set the world on fire. P. Get my coffee, go about my day. Go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for this whole thing to blow over. I imagine that the WW3 has begun, we are simply not sure at what point. That's what I was thinking. What if it doesn't start with a bang like you see in movies but gradually spirals, long enough for people to accept any new escalation as the new normal? And then at some point people start asking, wait, doesn't this start to feel like a world war? Luckily we only got to that point when people had alliances and were close-knit with those alliances. Nowadays majority of countries stay neutral and play the American approach by sending support but otherwise not declaring war officially. Guess I should get ready for the draft. I was scrolling down to see who would mention the draft because while I'm too old, all my kids are prime draft age, so I'd worry about them getting drafted. Remember, you're too old unless things are going badly enough. Most likely, they'll want drone operators and people to work in drone factories. The wars of the future will not be fought on the battlefield or at sea. They will be fought in space, or possibly on top of a very tall mountain. In either case, most of the actual fighting will be done by small robots. And as you go forth today, remember always your duty is clear, to build and maintain those robots. Quote. Googling if I still need to go into work. I work as a butcher, so I'd be working regardless. I did buy some solar gear yesterday though, so I feel like I'd be in a better position than yesterday, lol. Mate, you'll be working until the end of civilization. A butcher who can minimize waste cuts means more hours, days survival. I think I'll have a Coke. Snorts WOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO probably wouldn't have time to have first thoughts. I'm in a first strike city, too. It's doubtful I would wake up. I'm up in the mountains and of Maine, I'm not gonna get hit with a nuke, and the radiation probably won't be too bad here. I'm worried about the bands of survivalist nuts, which ain't gonna be fun. Typical cunts at it again. I'm not entirely certain that day hasn't already happened and we won't really know it until later. When people read the headline that Franz Ferdinand had been assassinated, did they know what they were in for? Fun fact, according to his daughter, Emperor Franz Joseph of Austria-Hungary was actually relieved by his nephew and heir's assassination. The emperor had seen Franz Ferdinand as an incompetent idiot and constantly worried that the empire wouldn't survive his reign. Little did he know that it would actually be Franz Ferdinand's death, rather than his reign, that would destroy the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It will be very interesting to find out what the actual trigger ends up being. When reading up on pre-WW1 global politics, it was a mess, just like today. Man, I should have opened that account and earned myself a little bunker. Subscribe to my Only Bunkers now for a pre-Fallout discount of 35%. Get yourself ahead of the curve, buddy. Cool. Damn, why the hell did I wake up? Let me go back to sleep. I'll probably die anyway. I know that World War I was called the Great War at the time, but did they call the Second World War World War II right away, or only after the fact? From our Ask Historians, TLDR, Great War was not a long-lasting term, and by the end of the First World War, the term World War had already supplanted it, or at the very least equaled it, when referring to the war, particularly in North America. The U.S. War Department adopted the terminology World War officially in November 1919, and the U.S. press quickly did the same. This terminology grew throughout the interwar period. Great War had largely fallen out of favor by the early 1930s in all of the English-speaking world. By the end of the 1930s, World War was accepted enough as the term for World War I that as soon as Hitler invaded Poland in September 1939, the term Second World War was applied to this new war. By MID 1940, Second World War and World War II had become the most widely accepted terms to refer to the war. https://www.reddit.com/r/askhistorians/s/f8visf6sdb. I'm British, so think I better put the kettle on then. Honestly, I'd be scared alert. Worry, for my 3 boys who are all eligible for a draft. Seems like nobody is actually thinking about the draft in this scenario, just mad at government lol. I'd be both. Grab a notebook, wrote some fanfic of myself in journal format, and store it as safe as possible. 100 years later, the survivors would unearth it and thought they just found some legit diary of a hero. Clatter it everywhere so it can become a fun side quest. Make sure to include a pipe pistol and a few pre-war dollars. Where is my family? Will my country, Canada, be invaded? Look for news on YouTube, Reddit, CBC, CTV, Global. Legit, I've been worrying about this since Trump took office, even looking for where to flee to if shit does hit the fan. Also Canadian. I was going to split to Canada from California. One of the islands on the west coast would be a nice place to live off of fish and berries. I live in Ukraine. Nothing would change for me. So I would just go about my day. Wishing you the best from Boston. I'm deeply ashamed my country elected a felon instead of someone who could help you. I wonder how this will affect the trout population. Never mind the trout population, this is going to ruin the tour. What tour? Head to the Winchester, grab a pint, and wait for all this to blow over. Finally, early retirement. Well fuck, glad I played so much Fallout. I'll be continuing my character IRL after the electricity stops working. I doubt there would be so much 5x5.6 ammo lying around in all the mailboxes. No, but if I find a desk fan I will simply turn it into a rifle and ammunition, you see. Sorry, children of the world. I hate that meme, but we literally got WW3 before GTA 6. I'd be pissed because then Rockstar would have an excuse to delay it another 5 years. You maniacs, you blew it up. Quote, I hate every ape I see, from chimpana to chimpanzee. Oh my god, I was wrong. It was Earth all along. You finally made a monkey, yes, we finally made a monkey, oh you finally made a monkey out of me. Hope I'm close enough to the city airport to get vaporized when they nuke it. Yeah, even if I survive WW3, I sure as hell don't want to live in a post-nuclear apocalypse world. That sounds fucking miserable. I live in the UK as well, so a prime target for any nuclear winter effects. Go watch Threads people and tell me you still disagree. Maybe if you live solidly in the southern hemisphere or some such I'd understand, but in for those of us in the northern hemisphere. Shit is gonna suik. What's that quote? I don't know what weapons WW3 will be fought with, but I know that WW4 will be fought with sticks and stones. Nukes. Taking the rest of the week off. Traditional. Wishing our military the best and starting to support care packages to the troops and families of soldiers that are deployed, but going about my business. Nukes. Taking the rest of the week off. Ambitious prospects. Living in a major city, I think the rest of the week is taking me off. Fucking Russia, USA, Israel, would probably be my thought, because one or more of those three countries would be responsible. Add in China and you've pretty much reached 100% chance that one is involved. I think we're there now, in all but name. However, be assured, the rich still want to be rich above all else. It won't all burn, as then money will mean nothing, and they won't accept that. It's just posturing and bullshit. I honestly wouldn't worry. My first thought in response to your comment was, well, the rich still wanted to maintain the grip over society at the dawn of World War II, but then I remembered, there were no nukes. The ruling class could be reasonably sure that even if all the poors killed each other fighting, there would always be protected enclaves where the violence wouldn't reach them. Adding nukes to the equation changes that calculus significantly. We are definitely not in it now lol, if anything we are in a second Cold War. All the more reason to take advantage and go after the rich A** holes who caused us so much damage.